Are you up for something a little posher on your next trip? Well, Disney Signature Fine Dining could be right up your alley. Join us today as we reveal our favourites of the signatures here on Walt Disney World, Adults Only. Welcome, your Royal Highnesses. I'm Dan and you're watching Walt Disney World Adults Only. If you're a new viewer here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. We really do appreciate your support. Today, we're going to tell you all about the signature fine dining experiences at Walt Disney World. I will give you the details of the restaurants and their locations, as well as the dress code too. Yes, you get to dress up. How exciting to get out of that theme park gear and out of those trainers and make yourself look really nice and feel good about yourself as you enjoy one of the best meals you're going to have at Disney World. And then I'm going to go across to Courtney, Carol, Taylor, Leanne, Eric and Jackie, who are each going to reveal their favourite signature restaurant, and of course they're going to tell us why. For anyone who has watched our channel before, you will know what my favourite is. Apparently I do not stop going on about it. That isn't going to change today, and at the end of this video I'm briefly going to tell you about my one as well. More importantly, please tell me in the comments which is your own favourite, or the one that's most appealing to you. Please tell me why. So the exact number of signature restaurants at Walt Disney World is kind of disputable. It's complicated. Well, some restaurants are listed as signature on Disney's website, but they don't require 2 table service credits when the dining plan is being offered. One is listed as signature dining even though the quality of the food is far from signature, but the experience of dining inside a castle is signature for sure. And some are located at the Swan and Dolphin resorts but have never been included in the Disney dining plan. And then we have Be Our Guest, which is 2 table service credits and many people consider to be signature. However, the Disney website does not. So for the purposes of today, for telling you what is what, I'm going to go only with the restaurants listed on the Disney website as signature fine dining restaurants. I think that is the least disputable, right? So there are 25 signature fine dining restaurants at Walt Disney World, according to the website. So signature dining is typically 2 table service credits per person when the dining plan is being offered, and people are expected to dress up a little. Now, we aren't talking full ball gown and tiara, but please don't turn up at these restaurants in your Speedos or bikini. That really isn't appropriate. And as you would expect from the signature title, these restaurants are a little fancier, a little nicer, with higher end dishes and fine wines too. The ambiance and the decor is a little more sophisticated, and you can expect to pay a little bit more here for your meal. So the list of restaurants, here we go. At Magic Kingdom, there is just Cinderella's Royal Table. We have a video all about that restaurant and I will link it for you down below. Then at Epcot, we have 3. Le Cellier Steakhouse, Monsieur Paul and Takumi Thai. Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom have 1 each respectively. The Hollywood Brown Derby and Tiffins. And then Disney Springs has the Boathouse, Paddlefish, Harleo, Morimoto Asia, Wolfgang Puck Bar and Grill, and STK Orlando. Moving to the Disney World resorts, we have Jico the Cooking Place at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Flying Fish Cafe at Disney's Boardwalk, the Yachtsman Steakhouse at Disney's Yacht Club, Victoria and Albert's, Citrico's and Narcoossee's at the Grand Floridian, California Grill at the Contemporary, and Topolino Terrace Flavors of the Riviera at Disney's Riviera Resort. The remaining 5 are at non-owned Disney resorts. Todd English's Blue Zoo and Shula's Steakhouse at the Dolphin Hotel, Il Molino at the Swan Hotel, and Kappa at the top of the Four Seasons Resort Orlando. Finally, the newest Walt Disney World signature fine dining restaurant to open is Amare and is located at the brand new Swan Reserve Resort. So far, I have only dined at 7 of these restaurants, so I have got a long way to go to complete the set. Okay, any questions? If so, pop them in the comments down below. If not, let's crack straight on and we're going to go across to Miss Courtney. Courtney, tell us which is your favourite signature restaurant at Walt Disney World. Please tell us why, and also tell us which restaurant is #1 for a future trip.
Yes, Dan, my favorite signature restaurant in Disney is going to be found at Disney Springs. This restaurant is rather hard to miss because it is in a ginormous boat in the middle of Disney Springs. That's right, I am talking about Paddlefish. Paddlefish's menu has a big focus and emphasis on seafood. You don't have to be a seafood lover to get something that you could enjoy here. They do have other land offerings as well. Now, when going to Paddlefish, you have to be prepared for the price point. You are easily going to be spending around $40 to $50 per adult by just getting an entree, maybe an appetizer, and a drink. I will say though, the food is spectacular and the portion sizes are large, so you don't feel like you are going in and getting ripped off. Let's talk about my most recent adventure to Paddlefish. We visited Paddlefish for lunch on a day where we were traveling back home. We had an early-ish reservation and we got to the restaurant around 11:30. We were seated immediately and the staff was so friendly and welcoming. The interior of Paddlefish has the tables really close together, which is one drawback for me, as I would prefer to have a little bit more space between me and the next party. I ordered the tuna poke. Everybody that I know knows how much I love my poke, and if a menu offers it, I'm getting it. The portion of poke was actually really large. I was surprised based on the price point. There were some cocktails available around the $15 mark and going up from there. But with the signature dining experiences, what I will say is that typically their cocktails are going to include those top shelf liquors. Now, as far as the next signature restaurant on my list, there are two. First is gonna be Takumi Thai. I must try it. I don't care if it's gonna take 5 hours out of my Epcot day. I've been to Epcot a million times, but I'm only gonna do Takumi Thai once, and I'm going to experience all of it. The second is going to be Victoria and Albert's. Who does not want to dine there? Shelling out that kind of money is gonna be a little painful, but I will be going. Okay, Eric, now it's your turn. Your favorite signature restaurant, and go.
Thanks, Courtney. I'll start with what my favorite signature restaurant is, and that's the Yachtsman Steakhouse at Disney's Yacht Club Resort. I love a good steak, and the Yachtsman Steakhouse is a traditional American-style steakhouse that specializes in fresh butcher's cuts. The pull-apart onion rolls that they bring out to start your meal are pure heaven. They bring out a whole head of roasted garlic along with some butter topped with some Himalayan pink smoked sea salt, and just the pairing of the butter, the garlic, and the bread, it's all really delicious. The garlic is roasted so that it is so soft, you can take your butter knife and just spread the garlic onto your roll just like butter. It is so delicious. I absolutely love it. My favorite steak is a New York strip, so that's what I get at the Yachtsman. And it is always cooked perfectly and beautifully, tastes delicious, and never been disappointed. Each entree that you order comes with one accompaniment side. They have mashed potatoes, au gratin potatoes, or french fries that you can choose to go along with your steak. Now they do also have some seafood and some non-steak options, so if you would prefer to order chicken, or maybe if you're a vegetarian, they do have other things on the menu that aren't steak. Now I don't want to forget dessert. They do have a really good creme brulee here. They also have a really, really decadent chocolate cake. It's large enough to be shared between two people. It's called the Yachtsman's chocolate cake. And right now they're also featuring a special 50th anniversary cake dessert that's around for a limited time. The service at the Yachtsman has always been phenomenal. I've never had any issues with service here. The wait staff and their assistants are always right on cue, with anything that you need. I've never felt rushed through the meal, and I really think it's a great date night restaurant. I really enjoy being able to kind of dress up and, you know, go out to a nicer restaurant where there's not a lot of kids running around. It's a little more upscale, and I know that I'm going to get a really good meal if I'm going to the Yachtsman. As far as the pricing goes, it's going to run you about $75 to $125 per person, and of course that will vary vastly depending on what you order. As for which signature restaurant I would have at the top of my list that I haven't gone to yet, I would have to choose Topolino's Terrace. Topolino's Terrace looks absolutely amazing. I've seen a lot of pictures and videos and reviews of the restaurant. Looks fabulous. The food looks out of this world, and I really want to go for dinner and experience that signature dining. And I would definitely try to time my meal to be there during Harmonious so that I could see the fireworks from up on top of the Riviera. So Taylor, how many signature restaurants have you been to? Which one's your favorite, and which one is at the top of your list to try?
Good question, Eric. I think I've tried 6 signature restaurants at this point, and my favorite of those has been the Hollywood Brown Derby. I tried it for the first time in early 2021, and I actually vlogged the whole experience. So if you are interested in seeing the entire meal and a review, I will link that video in the description down below. I will give you some highlights today though. We had a really great experience at the Hollywood Brown Derby. Everything from the service to the food were top notch, and the restaurant is just really fun. It doesn't feel stuffy like some of the other signature restaurants, and being stuffy isn't a bad thing, but I think that has to do with this being in the middle of a theme park. We were seated quickly, and our server was so nice and really knowledgeable. To drink, my husband had the absinthe minded because he's actually a really big absinthe fan, and I had the margarita flight. I love flights, I love margaritas. Really, I couldn't have asked for more, and all of the flavors were super delicious, and I would definitely recommend this if you like margaritas like I do. We got an appetizer, which was probably a huge mistake because we left this meal ready to explode, but I don't regret trying the ahi tuna carpaccio. Big fan of ahi tuna, and this was really nice. Fresh and a little bit spicy because of the wasabi, and it was really delicious. It's not currently on the menu, but there is a tuna carpaccio niçoise, which looks pretty comparable. For our main course, Jake had the Brown Derby signature burger, and he loved it. It was cooked absolutely perfectly. It was really messy because of that runny egg, but that also made it insanely delicious. I had a bite, and I would probably order that in the future. And I had to order the famous Cobb salad. I felt like if I'm going to the Brown Derby, I have to order their most famous item. And I thought it was really, really nice. It's basically salad you can eat with a spoon because it's chopped up so fine, and that's awesome. Who doesn't love eating things with a spoon? The flavors mix really well. The presentation is gorgeous. And I don't really like blue cheese, but it's all mixed in so well that you don't get that stankiness of the blue cheese. So I thought it was great, and I would definitely recommend it. And then our server talked us into dessert, you know, really twisted our arm, and we went with a Brown Derby original, the grapefruit cake. Vanilla sponge cake, grapefruit syrup, and cream cheese icing. The first bite I had, I honestly didn't know if I liked it, and then I just kept eating it, and I kept liking it more and more and more. And then we ate the whole thing, and then I felt like I was gonna die because I was so full. So it's a really unique dessert. It's not very sweet. It has a little bit of that bitterness from the grapefruit, but the sweetness of the icing and the cake cut it so unique. I've never had anything like it. I think for a signature restaurant, this sits at a really great price point. There are obviously more expensive entrees, but the 2 we ordered was right at that $20 to $25 mark. And for a lunch at a signature restaurant that really, really filled us up, it was great. The portions were large, the food tasted fantastic, and the experience as a whole was amazing. Now, having tried only 6 signature restaurants, there are still so many on my list. They include Jiko with Monsieur Paul, Takumi Thai, and Victorian Alberts. So once I get to all of those, maybe I will have a new favorite. I'm almost afraid to ask Leanne what her favorite is, but Leanne, tell us. And also let us know which one you really want to dine at next.
California Grill is my favourite signature restaurant. So the first time we went to California Grill, we were staying at the Contemporary back in 2012. One of my favourite parts about this restaurant is when the fireworks are going on in Magic Kingdom. You can either sit from your table if you've got a good enough spot and watch them out the window, or you can step out onto the balcony and watch the fireworks going on. One of the other reasons that makes this restaurant special to me is the fact the first time I ever went, I went with my grandma, and she is the person that got me into Disney. So it's just nice little memories that we share together. Now, as far as this restaurant goes, the food is absolutely amazing. It's not cheap. Now, none of the signature restaurants are. I have to say, every time I've done it, I have been on the dining plan, so I don't actually take much notice of how much things are. Now, when I go, I do not get the sushi. I am not a big fan of sushi at all. I tend to get the steak dishes or the beef dishes. At the minute, the California Grill is doing a 50th anniversary celebration menu, which is £89 per adult. Now in future, there is one signature restaurant that is on my list that I have never got round to doing, and every time I go, I put it on my list and I never quite get there, and it is Eric's Choice of the Yachtsman. I know California Grill is one of your favourites, Jackie, but not currently your absolute favourite. So tell us which it is and which signature restaurant you would love to try.
Thanks, Leanne. California Grill is one of my favorites too. However, I have to say Tiffins is in my top 5, if not at the top. It's a great place to get lunch or dinner while at Animal Kingdom without having to leave the park. I've eaten both lunch and dinner at Tiffins over the years, and I've also had bread service at Nomad Lounge. None of these places have ever let me down in the quality of food and service. I'm a creature of habit and usually end up getting the surf and turf when I'm at Tiffins. On my first visit back in 2018, the surf and turf came with lobster. However, on my next visit, the menu had changed and they now had scallops. This is also when I found out I am not a fan of scallops. However, my mom tried them and said they were really good. African Brie spiced beef tenderloin was cooked perfectly. The potato pave, grilled vegetables, and honey butter and cola demi-glaze were perfectly paired. It was really enjoyable, lots of flavor. I would highly recommend this for somebody who can't actually decide if they want seafood or if they want beef. For dessert, on my last time dining at Tiffins, I got the South American chocolate ganache. It's just that, a small bar of chocolate ganache that has caramelized bananas and a cocoa nib tule on top. It also comes with a sauce. I think it may have been strawberry or raspberry, but it's been a year or two, so I'm not exactly sure. But either way, it was delicious and I highly recommend it. If you want to know more about dining at Tiffins, we already have a YouTube video out there and we will link that in the description below. Tiffins is at the top of my list, but I'd also like to add to that list. I'm hoping to get a reservation at Topolino's for breakfast. I hear so many good things about it, so many good things from our members and the reviews and the vlogs. I'm so excited to add this reservation to my upcoming trip in October. So Carol, Tiffins is number 1 on my list. What about you? Where will your next signature dining destination be?
Jackie, one of my all-time favorite signature restaurants is Narcoossee's. Although I'm not sure if pronounced Narcoossee or Narcoossee, but anyway, it's located in the Grand Floridian Resort. It is not in the main building, however. It is a separate building close to the water, and it has waterfront windows and a wraparound porch or deck. We always take the friendship boat from Magic Kingdom. That lends to the charm of the experience, the whole dining experience. As you approach the restaurant, and if you do it in the evening, it's lit with these little white lights that outline the building, and it just makes it look so magical. You can see Cinderella's Castle and Space Mountain from the dock where you land and from the restaurant itself. The service has been excellent every time we've eaten here, with friendly and knowledgeable servers who are willing to adjust any portion of your meal just so you get the perfect experience. Appetizers, soups, and salads range from about $15 to $22. The entrees start at about $22 for the plant-based option and go up to about $58. Now, the more expensive lobster entrees, which were in the $75 to $90 range if I remember correctly, are not available at this time. We've always eaten here using the dining plan and using those 2 dining credits because it's a signature restaurant. I've had the lobster bisque and the shrimp crab cake here. Both are delicious. The lobster bisque actually has a hint of licorice in it, and it tastes much better than that sounds. I've had the mahi-mahi here, and again, it's a decent sized portion. My go-to dish, however, if the lobster is not available, is the George Banks sea scallops. They are firm and sweet. Sometimes scallops have a tendency to be a little jelly-like. These are not. They're nice and firm. They have sort of a caramelized top, which really adds to the presentation of the dish. I usually get the chocolate torte, which is not being offered at this time, but that is so delicious. It is just exquisite. I really, really love it. If you've seen my reviews of other restaurants, you know I favor restaurants that offer something more than just food. I like the dining experience to give you something extra, and Narcoossee's does that as well. If you time it right, you can watch the water pageant and or the fireworks going off at Magic Kingdom from the restaurant itself. So which signature restaurant am I interested in trying next? Now, I've never eaten at Tiffins because my menu choices are a little bit limited, but after hearing Jackie's review, I think that's the one that's up on my list. That's all of us today, Dan. Helen, Mickey, and Natalie have not tried signature dining yet, so you'll have to ask them on another day. Now, we all know that California Grill is your favorite restaurant. If you've told us once, you've told us a million times. But where are you prioritizing your dining for your trip this year?
Thanks for the feedback, Carol. Do I really bang on about it?
You sure do, but I totally understand. It is incredible.
Well, it is incredible for sure. California Grill is my number one, and I cannot think of another place that even comes close to it for me. Leanne has already told you all about the California Grill, but for me, it is a destination for every single trip. The ambiance is superb, the views are stunning, and the food is perfectly delicious. I particularly love the oak-fired fillet of beef, which last time came with a Gouda mac and cheese. Simply divine. And the blueberry gin jam donuts, you simply cannot go wrong. I won't bang on any further about it though, I think you get the point. I've also been to Cinderella's Royal Table, a really great experience dining inside the castle, meeting the princesses, but the food really wasn't great. I've also been to Gico, the cooking place, which was incredible, as was Tiffins too, and the Flying Fish Cafe had beautifully presented, fresh, flavourful food, and the restaurant was gorgeous, but as you may already know, I had a really odd service experience here. The Boathouse and Paddlefish were wonderful too. So where next? Where will I go for my signature meal in September? Well, provided it's reopened, the Musha Pool in the France Pavilion at Epcot is currently number one on my list to dine at. So there you have it, our favourite and wish list signature restaurants. Some questions for you now. How many of these have you dined at so far? Which is your favourite, and which one will you be prioritising for your next trip? Please tell me in the comments down below. For now, thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate your support.
If you liked it, make sure to give us a big thumbs up.
Also, share this video with your friends. They'll love it.
Please make sure you've subscribed.
And hit the bell so you know when new videos come out.
If you're not already a part of our Walt Disney World Adults Only Facebook group, join us there where we will continue discussions just like this, as well as many, many more.
The link for the group is in the description down below. Please join us there. You know you want to.
And as always, remember, never grow up.